bright lights, the hopeful glances, the guy running at breakneck speed through an airport. When does that happen? When does that happen? Hi there everyone, I'm Celestia Rax and welcome to this week's episode of Economics in Real Life. If you're new here, I make channels on everything economics related and analytics. I basically take a bunch of topics that don't seem related whatsoever to economics and then show you how they are. Occasionally I also do some fashion. I have a super cute dog, which you would have seen in the thumbnail, and very occasionally we do some DIY. So yeah, that's what I'm about, and without any further ado, let's get into today's topic. Is romantic comedies ruining our perception of the reality of relationships? So if you're anything like me, you love a good romantic comedy, and Katherine Heigl is probably one of your favorite people ever. I love 27 Dresses, Bridget Jones' Diary, Pretty Woman, love them all. But even I will tell you, at times those things are problematic. Very problematic. The bright lights, the hopeful glances, the guy running at breakneck speed through an airport. When does that happen? When does that happen? They are all essential elements. However, sometimes it can be easy to get lost within the magic. And we all like to believe that we are rational individuals. We are, as economics would say, Homo economicus, a rational man. But are we really? So there is the common theory that if you watch way too many romantic comedies, you will end up believing that your partner needs to behave in a certain way, your partner needs to be certain things, and that your love life has to be as spectacular as the movies are. But is that idea true? Well, obviously not what I just said, but is the idea that people go and watch these romantic comedies and get their minds like totally flipped? I don't think it's true, but we're going to figure it out. So, there are some sites that state basically that those who watch romantic comedies, especially from the younger generation, are more likely to believe that their partner should, for one, figure out exactly what's going on inside of their mind, and secondly, that their partner should, what does it say here? That the person who watches these movies has found themselves to be less in control of their relationship, or rather that they are unable to fix the things that are wrong within their relationship because of the things that they've learned from romantic comedies. In addition, there was also the fact that their perceptions are warped, and this was particularly true, or more true for younger generations and older generations, because it was found that older generations had more life experience to go and say, this is not realistic for my life, or this is not realistic for my reality. But those with less life experience went, yes, totally feasible. So, the differences. However, then the journal, I think it's called Science, I think it's literally just called Science. Anyway, they went and published this fascinating article that said, no, romantic comedies do not actually have a very significant effect on the individual's ability to judge whether or not a relationship is sound. Here you are thinking, what? Surely some of those things, like 27 Dresses, literally dancing on top of a karaoke bar, that's not a normal date. Well, how often do you end up becoming the star of a karaoke bar? Never. Just never. Okay? I've watched that movie way too many times. Or like Bride Wars. How often do you end up leaving your fiance at the altar and then shacking up with your best friend's brother? Only in the movies. Only in the movies. If that has happened to you, please let me know. I find this stuff fascinating. But, so, they found that it wasn't so much as whether or not you watch romantic comedies more often than others that influenced your ability to have warped views on relationships. Rather, it was the reason of why you were watching the romantic comedies. If you were just watching them for a laugh and for the spectacularly unrealistic behaviors that is displayed within these movies, it was all chilled. But when you started watching them because you wanted romantic comedies to be your lens through which you understood life and understood relationships and learned how to conduct yourselves within the context of a romantic relationship, that's when the problem started. Because there are many things that romantic comedies teach us. Not all of them is sound. Some of the things good, like love conquers all, but that could also be seen as negative. One of the most problematic things that people seem to take out of romantic comedies was the idea that your significant other should just understand you. They should just look at you and know what's going on inside your head. That just blows my mind, because you have lived with your family for how many years? And even they're like, I don't get it. What's going on inside your head? Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. How does someone who has only known you for a very short space of time, maybe just a few years or so, how are they supposed to unlock the secrets within your mind just because they love you? Like, that one really needs to be thought through. But fortunately, it's not all doom and gloom. In fact, there was one particular article I saw that was just fantastic. It was lamenting the fact that there's not enough romantic comedies out there at the moment. And I remember thinking, what? And then they pointed out this fantastic thing. Many, many years ago, not that long ago, but like 30 or so years ago, there was romantic comedies were like very frequent at the box office. Nowadays, not so much. The question is, why? Okay. And it seems it's because Hollywood has been reiterating the same tired storyline time again and again. The question is, of course, why? Why do we keep getting the same storyline? Why do things keep becoming so stale? Why is it always like, oh, yes, this actor ends up with this person and it's always a happy ever after? Or, why are we not exploring new things or in a new light, or bringing on different themes or things like that? So, yes, choosing to be so cliche is causing the issues. And that's what the whole genre is falling apart from. But I don't really know. I kind of like romantic comedies, not gonna lie. I stand them. 10 out of 10 would recommend you binge romantic comedies this weekend. But only because you want to laugh, not because you want like life lessons. Like Bridget Jones was a bit crazy. Loved it, but very crazy. The most important thing we learn though, as we think about romantic comedies, is that the things we miss most when all the fancy stuff is gone, the roses, the diamonds, whatever else, is the everyday minutiae. It's going grocery shopping and talking about everyday things that we miss when we don't have our partners around or things like that. So we should learn to find the magic and the great joy within those everyday moments. I often find those tend to be glossed over within romantic comedies. But if we can learn to appreciate those, and if we can learn to set our expectations for relationships or significant others to be more realistic and to be more reflective of our own values, then we will tend to be more satisfied. Okay, so that was today, and I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next week, Saturday. Cool. Bye!